Welcome to Muscle in the Morning, brought to you by Iron Mag Labs. Make your mark. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Wednesday, June 29th, 2016. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. We're a few days away from officially kicking things off at this weekend's NTC Team Universe, where longtime veteran of the stage, Joe Thomas, will look to make another run at hunting down his pro card. Earlier in the week, new photos surfaced of a shredded-looking Thomas just under 1 week out from his first show of the season, where the perennial national-level powerhouse will look to close the final chapter of his amateur career. Despite bringing in what many have called the best look of his career last year at the North American Championships and coming home with a third-place finish in the Masters, Thomas still left a bit of business unattended to. But with last year's close call still on his mind, and a new team in his corner, perhaps this will finally be the season we see Thomas finally seal the deal. After starting his season off with a bang by delivering a career-best second-place performance back at the Miami Muscle Beach Pro, 212 Pro Wendell Floyd is officially back in beast mode. Floyd released new progress photos this week showing off a bit of a retooled look after downshifting a bit following his performance in Miami. Since he earned his pro card back at the 2009 Team Universe, Floyd has been the consummate professional, constantly making improvements and constantly reinventing himself. This time around, he's looking a little bit bigger and fuller than when we last saw him back in Miami. And if the cards happen to fall just right, it isn't hard to imagine him going home with a top 3 or better finish. It isn't often that we see too many real shocks and surprises up on the Olympia stage, but this year's going to be an entirely different story. From the return of Kevin Levrone to Kai Green getting his groove back, and Dallas McCarver turning into the world's only other resident from planet Coleman, this year's contest really is a bit unpredictable. But don't forget about a man who might be the real dark horse to come in and throw everything for a loop. Aussie sensation Josh Lonardo. Since he closed out last season with wins at the San Marino Pro and Ferrigno Legacy Classic, Lonardo has exploded into stardom practically overnight and heads into his first Olympia as a real wild card. With the size and conditioning that Lonardo brings to the table, there's a real shot that he could end up landing somewhere in the top 6. And if the call-outs start to fall in his favor, you never know what sort of chaos might ensue. The journey to classic physique greatness is still in effect for Sadik Hadzovic. Over the weekend, Sadik was spotted gutting his way through another monster leg training session, taking another step towards making his highly anticipated classic physique debut. After becoming one of the most dominant athletes on the men's physique circuit during the offseason, Sadik announced that he'd be taking his talents elsewhere and crossing over to classic. However, now that we're nearing the midpoint of the season and still haven't seen him slap on the trunks and square off against the Darren Charles of the world, it's looking more and more like we won't be seeing him until Olympia time. But whenever he does decide to hop on stage again, you better make sure you've got your popcorn ready, because Sadik 2.0 is something you aren't going to want to miss. Just 1 week after putting on an impressive top 10 performance at her pro debut at the Dexter Jackson Classic, rising figure star Nicole Finney is already preparing to hop right back into action. After what turned out to be a nearly 2-year sabbatical from the stage, Phinney hit the stage last weekend down in Memphis looking dramatically improved from top to bottom, and has plans to hit the Chicago Pro sharper, fuller, and with even more detail. Over the last few years, we've seen some new stars come into their own in the Windy City, and Phinney has star potential written all over her. So don't be surprised if she ends up closing out the weekend with another top 5 finish. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning, brought to you by Iron Mag Labs. Make your mark. Check out ironmaglabs.com today. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.